All righty, we are back, boys. We are back. Welcome back, Red Riders. The Phillies were very kind to us today. No shortage of news that was broken today. Slim, we got a full slate, and we'll be joined by Bones shortly. He's on his way back. He's got a lot going on right now, but we have a lot of people. We have a couple big names to introduce you all to today. We have a Cristopher Sanchez extension announcement. We have an opening day roster. We have opening day around the corner. Slim, how are we doing? Very busy weekend overall, brother. How we doing?
Busy weekend, but you know what? The weather broke a little bit this week. The Phillies were on Sunday, a little day action, so I'm getting excited for Thursday's opening day.
Yeah,
I'm getting excited. The season's here. It's the nitty gritty time. I was looking at the rotation. I'm ready for them. I'm ready to go. They already posted the rotation. We
yeah.
got Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo, and then Walker and Painter. So yeah, it's time to go.
It's time to go. And yeah, like I said earlier, I mean, we woke up today with an absolute slammer of news, right? Between the Cristopher Sanchez extension, we got all the opening day roster and lineup stuff squared away. But Red Riders, before we get too far into our slate today, we want to introduce you to our new producer. Now, you saw on our socials, we've gone through a very thorough vetting process. So we're very excited to introduce this gentleman, and his name is Doug. So Slim, let's give him a nice round of applause. Let's give him a red corner welcome,
Yo,
Doug.
what's happened, Doug?
Hey,
Welcome to the crew, Doug.
A lot of work behind the scenes.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for bringing me a part of the team. Excited to make it happen and be part of the crew and hear what the Red Riders have to say. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, they're going to appreciate once we get to those watch-alongs, which are coming soon.
100%.
They're going to be awesome.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty sick. It looks good. We were scouting out a location.
Yes. And so Doug will be the new brain behind the scenes. Doug's also a baseball guy. He's a Phillies guy. He's got a lot of skill sets in this area. Doug, why don't you talk about your background in this world?
Yeah, in the media production world. So I have a business called Mako Media and Top Chalk Studio over here in Collingswood, New Jersey, 10 minutes from the stadiums. We are sort of a co-working space for creatives. People want to have a doorway of opportunity to get in, learn photography, video, podcast, Twitch streaming, whatever it may be. Hit us up on Instagram, shoot us a DM, check out our website, and that's what we do. We're trying to get more into some sports and lifestyle photography this year, and probably headline some baseball stuff. So this is kind of like a perfect mix. So excited to be a part of it, guys.
And your studio, Top Chalk Studio, which we checked out, it's right over there in Collingswood. Collingswood's awesome. It's a happening spot. It kind of has those, a little bit of those Fishtown vibes, I guess. But there's a lot of connections over there, and it's a really, really cool spot and space. So go check it out if you're any kind of creative.
Yeah, please go check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
And sometimes we see some Phillies players walking around town here. We see Bryce, we seen Zach Wheeler after the surgery walking around town. It's a really cool community, and everybody's awesome. So,
Doug, we're really excited to have you on part of the team here. And like Slim, you said earlier, Doug's going to be running point on a lot of live watch parties. You're going to see us level up. This is step one of that. So Bones will be joining us very shortly. I got to talk to him because he and I did the 5K this weekend. So we have a lot to debrief. So Doug, we'll let you go in the background here, and we'll have you pop in a little bit later. So
all right,
cool.
Thanks, Phils.
You got it, brother. All right, so Slim.
What's happening?
Cristopher Sanchez. We woke up today, shortly thereafter, and we got this bomb of a news here. So Slim, do me a favor. Move your head up a little bit because every time we pop those graphics up, this has been there you go. So, Cristopher Sanchez, what were you thinking when you heard this news?
So when I saw it, I was wondering if they were doing him a solid because he had the most favorable team contract in sports, right? Especially AAV wise.
Right.
Now, I guess they did do him a little bit of solid because they uploaded it with the guarantee money. That's how I'm viewing it. He's getting more guaranteed money. His AAV, how much did it go up? And then he got the more. All right, did it go up a lot? So that's what I'm here to find out. I saw that his guarantee money went up, and I know that his years went up, which always means more and more money. More years, more money. He was sitting, was it around 21, 22, and now he's around how much?
No, so his entire contract was 4 years, $22.5 million. So he was making like $4.5 million, right?
Oh, he was getting $4 million a year.
Correct.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's
yeah. So he was.
See, I saw that 22 million number, and I really thought it was 22 million a year, or 21 million, which is a deal, which is still a deal. 21 million.
Which honestly is the main takeaway all in all here, right? Because the reality of all of this is, even after we did this restructuring, we did this extension, right? Because it went from, like I just said, 4 for 22 with 2 club options built in. Dombrowski basically said it was a no-brainer. We were going to pick up the club options anyway based upon the way the Phils were playing. So why not just extend this deal and give him his due? So now it's 6 years, $107 million. So his AAV went up, and we're not going to get into the whole
6 years, $107 million. Still, I mean, yeah, great for us.
Discount.
Yeah, like you said, no brainer. My gosh.
Yes.
My gosh.
Now there was a lot of
Cy Young in a World Series. We're gonna have to do something on the side. The Middleton family when he retires, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
The Morgan family can hit him up with one property that can repay him back. But we need the Cy Young and we need the World Series, or just the World Series. We'll take.
That's your in writing for that, right?
Yeah. And then anything I can do to make it happen behind the scenes, please hit me up.
We'll revisit that. But yeah, so the other thing that was kind of going on out there, you don't see this a lot, right? You don't see the ripping up of the contract and just redoing it, right? Now, the one thing I will say that wasn't really reported as thoroughly as I would appreciate is we're getting more years tacked on here. So like this isn't just like a complete copy paste, add more money. There's 2 additional years tacked on, including a club option, which obviously is completely in the Phillies' favor, because if at that point when Christopher's 34, 35, whatever he would be, and he's still productive, no brainer to opt in. And if he's not productive, we just don't opt in. So still all the cards in the Phillies' favor. But what I do want to ask you on this, Slim, is there's a lot of narratives out there going on that basically saying that this is an unprecedented thing. This is bad business by the Phillies. Do you buy into that? Do you buy into this being bad business?
No, I mean it is. It's strange because why would they do it, right? Because ultimately they're no longer they're winning less, you know. But it's just a good faith deal, which is then hopefully a virtue signal for other people that this can get done. That's one way to look at it. The other way, not saying it's bad business, but if it's bad business, it's mostly bad business for the Phillies because they already did the extension, and then you could see because other teams are worried about copycats. Oh, what about the Phillies did it? The Phillies did it. Bryce Harper is going to potentially be like, what about the Phillies did it? Right. So, well, if the people truly think it's bad business, the Phillies will be the first ones to know.
100%. Yeah, well said. Which now, I mentioned this on Twitter. The elephant in the room that has now become 2 to 3 times larger is the Bryce Harper contract, right? Obviously, right away, everyone's going to be thinking about Harper has been quietly and sometimes not quietly hinting at that he wants an extension into his 40s, right? So obviously, 2 things that we got to address off the bat. The Harper contract, although he is likely underpaid if he were to do a deal right now, he's also making a lot more than Cristopher Sanchez was. So do you think this is going to create some awkwardness within the clubhouse?
I don't think so because that Sanchez number was so low.
Right.
That's what it comes to. That's one thing. Sanchez number is so low. Sanchez performance relatively, right, to his career, he's peaking. Bryce Harper, relatively to his performance right now, say what you will, but it's not the peak at this point, right? So that's 2 marbles to Sanchez's point. The third one, you can just say that Sanchez really is better than Harper, right? I mean, I know Harper's an everyday player, yada, yada, yada.
No, but relatively speaking,
yeah. So
second in Cy Young versus, Harper not second in MVP, right? I mean, he was the MVP, but right now, I would say the stock is much higher for a Sanchez type guy. Okay, so you don't think this is one of those things where Scott Boras says, "Really, guys, you extend him, but you can't throw my
Yeah,
guy a bone."
so what? So those sports check in for sure. You got to say he'll say something behind the scenes, but I don't think this is something. Who knows? Well, we can
Right.
watch how it plays it out. Maybe Boris does go back to maybe him and Harper get a strategy where they are going to be vocal all year. But I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case, and I don't think it will be. But Boris, at least Boris, maybe one phone call, sure. If it's more than that, okay, let's go. It's going to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Because Harper
Any
doesn't need that during the year. He doesn't need to be worrying about negotiating publicly when he's already locked up for so long.
Oh no, 100%. Which is exactly why the Phils wanted to get all this stuff done before opening day, right? Sanchez is our opening day starter, which is exciting for him. First time he's ever done that. So obviously, let's get all this locked up so no one's worrying about business while they're on the mound, or in
Right.
Harper's case, at the plate. Red Riders, do us a favor. If you are new here, very exciting day in the Red Corner world. We just announced Doug, our new producer. We got Bones coming up soon. He'll be joining this stream. We got a lot of fun happening. We got some fantasy baseball leagues. A lot happening right now. Do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. It helps us battle that evil YouTube algorithm. Slim, you ready to talk some opening day stuff or anything else on the Christopher Sanchez?
No, but the one more thing with the Cristopher Sanchez is just the full rotation. We can see this rotation looking good.
Right.
Yeah, for years and years. We got a rotation going into 2030 now with guys. And
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's a good time to be a Phillies fan.
All right, so let's move on here to the opening day roster. We have a nice little graphic to show here, which I want to give a little bit of kudos to John Foley. That's I pulled it from his Twitter. So shout out to John Foley. Credit to him, and go follow him at 2008 Phils with a Z. And again, that's at 2008 Phils with a Z on Twitter. So follow John. This is a sweet little graphic. So Slim, we have a nice little picture for our listening audience here of a beautiful graphic of the Phillies opening day roster. I'm just going to throw this at you. Anything surprise you here?
Anything surprised me? Okay. Personally, and clue me in.
Yeah.
What's the Tim Mazza love? Right, I know he was around last year, but I don't know the Tim. And I'm talking because we didn't keep McCamberly, which is someone we invested in, and I feel like we're keeping the infielder Dylan Moore because we also invested stock in him. I guess even more so stock. Mm-hmm. So I don't think Dylan Moore is on this team if we didn't trade for him. I love the idea of trading for him. And then I really didn't see much today. Even they have him playing second base today. I don't see it personally with Dylan Moore. I feel like I said, he's only on the team because we invested. I think was it prospects or money or whatever it was in the middle of last year when we got him. And then I don't understand Mazza.
Well, hold on here. So Dylan Moore and Doug, you can confirm the date on that. I don't believe that the timeline there is accurate. So we got
him within the last year. We either got him beginning of this off season or the middle of last year.
Right. So yeah, it was this off season. But so going back to your original comment on the Tim Mazza, I think you're spot on. That was definitely the one that jumped out the most to me. He wasn't getting a lot of love there at all, right? And then out of nowhere, I think some things happened, right? You had the Orion Kerkering injury, which wasn't part of the plan, right? Like him going on the IL. Not part of the plan. So I think some of the bullpen, I'm going to call it the snowball effect from there, gave Mazza a job. Now, where does that land as far as once Kerkering's back? Who knows? But I completely agree that was one of the things that jumped out to me.
And then Zach Pop. He's another one. And truly, Jonathan Bolin. I don't think his numbers were great. He hasn't really impressed me. When it comes to the bullpen, though, I think it's one of those. It's not who starts, it's who finishes. So I think there might be a name, 2, 3 names in the minors. Maybe hopefully a couple guys that we can hold on to. Maybe a couple. I'm not sure if there's guys that we're going to end up losing, but this isn't the final product.
Right, and then just so Doug's already earning his do here.
I seen it. It said January 30th, but when did we acquire him?
He signed. It was not a trade. We signed Dylan Moore January 30th. So thank you for that clarification there. So
I thought he was acquired, and then maybe we signed him. I thought we acquired him from Pittsburgh.
Are you thinking of Shugart? That's your boy Chase Shugart. Yeah, so Chase Shugart
too. I thought we got Dylan Moore before Shugart. I thought it was an acquisition. I didn't realize he was just out there.
No, yeah, he was signed. But yeah, so going back against
I'll be double checking.
Don't double check, dog, dude. No one double checks, dog. So yeah, we brought Doug in, so there's no double checking. Dog, we gotta get one of those like t-shirts. The double check.
I gotta show him how to use
double check Doug. Double check
yeah.
Doug. Yeah. Hey, it said at least from what I was seeing, signed January 30th, and then signed actually to the team just a couple days ago. He was on a minor deal. Look like.
Correct. Yeah.
With us or someone else?
With the Phils, January 30th.
Yep.
How did we get his rights? Doug. How did we get his rights?
I'll follow up. I'll be back. Yeah,
because we didn't draft him.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on from that. So we just signed him. It wasn't so anyway. So kind of going back to the bullpen, right? So the bullpen, I feel like where do you think this lands once Wheeler comes back? This is the thing I think is not getting talked about a lot. Do you think it's just a situation where we slot in? What's his name? Do you think we slot in as far as the Taiwan Walker goes? Does he slot into the bullpen?
Right. And is he because he's not going to be starting. The one thing you always got the depth is always good in case someone's hurt or needs to miss a start. He's not going to come out him coming out the bullpen. You don't see too much. You saw at the end of last year. I guess
right.
Man, does he go back in the bullpen? I guess so. I guess he does.
I think that's the plan, right?
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, you're not going to send him down to the minor leagues and have him do that grind. And then, but if everyone's healthy, what does it look like for him, and how does he get his work then? You know, that's what becomes interesting. Now we're talking those true long relief roles, which is, I guess so. Just we're talking truly long relief, and then if we need a swing,
right. We need a swing, and you're 100% right. Like obviously, the health is always the caveat you have to throw out there, right? Like if there's no health issues at all, then it's a situation when once Wheeler's back, and if Painter's pulling his weight, you slot Walker into the bullpen, and then probably a guy like Tim Mesa goes back down to the minors.
But to keep Walker looking fine and fresh at the bullpen, if he's in a situation like that, we got great starters. He might not be getting many opportunities, is all I'm saying. How often did we see Joe Ross last year? You know, that's what I'm saying. It's in some ways he's like the backup quarterback. He has one of the best positions in baseball now. He just gets to hang out. And I don't want to go that far, but you guys know what I'm talking. You see what I mean?
No, 100%. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like these roles, these call it the eighth bullpen arm, right? These are guys, and we've talked about this a lot off the show. Like a guy like Chase Shugart, right? Like you were high on him, which a lot of that was you just rallying behind your guy that you were picking early in the offseason. But a guy like that, he might not even have 6 innings thrown this year, or he might have 20. You don't know. Because you don't know how injuries are going to look. You don't know if a lefty or a righty goes down. It's a pure depth play. But no, all in all, the opening day roster, I don't think there's too many surprises. I think the other thing we can move on now, the Brian De La Cruz thing. Like you hit on that with Dylan Moore. He's getting a lot of the love because of his defensive versatility, former Gold Glover at the utility role. So I just think regardless of what happened in spring, it seemed like Dylan Moore was just going to win that job.
Yeah, I don't see him finishing on this roster at the end of the year. My last thing would be back to Walker and the bullpen and the rotation. And yeah, I got a couple things wrong. I was predicting Shugart was going to make this roster. I even liked McCambly, and you guys saw he was someone we invested in who just didn't really perform this spring, as you tweeted out, Devo.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people for the last month, the last 5, the last 6 weeks have been saying they want to sign another 5th pitcher. I said, don't do that. And now we're seeing why, because we got the depth still with Walker.
Right, but I see what you're saying, because if we would have signed a 5th pitcher at that point, Walker just gets thrown right into the bullpen, right? In that scenario.
Yeah, but he's not really a relief pitcher, right? So throwing him into the bullpen, unless it's in this like unique role, is pointless because he's going to get rocked. Because basically, and he can't really be a relief pitcher, right? Because his fastball is not as good. So he said last year, every week, every start he got, he's trying to figure out what's working basically in warm-ups and those first couple innings. And that's one reason why he's so streaky, because he either's got it or he doesn't. And then 2, he's figuring it out if he got it or if he doesn't on the fly every game. You know, you guys remember, I think that he had the complete game. The one game he had a great start. Remember his mother was there and all that.
Yeah.
Beginning of last season, he was he played fairly well. He was certainly entertaining. And I was listening to a lot of his press conference stuff because he was a guy who went through a lot of he went through a lot of struggles. Yeah, adversity.
No, yeah, the Taiwan Walker, from a dude standpoint, he turned things completely around. I was just having a conversation on Twitter about this. Like, obviously his first year where he was left off of the postseason roster, and then he tweeted that he was unhappy. He's come a long way from there, right? Like we're well beyond that. So I root for the guy. So Bones is now back in the mix, guys. So Bones, welcome to the show here. So Bones, this is where we're at. So obviously you see this graphic here of the Phillies opening day roster. Shout out John Foley for this wonderful graphic. Now, Bones, what jumped out at you here? We'll just quickly give you the floor on that, and then we'll move on.
That Dylan Moore made the roster, and then he had an awful day today at second base.
That's what I said. That's what I sent you guys. I was like, this is the guy, number 25.
Yeah.
And Zach Pop making it over.
Say his name.
Chris's boy, the Rule 5 draft pick.
Oh,
McCambly.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So McCambly. So shocked from the standpoint of here we are again. I think our last was it Noah Song, the guy from the military. I think we got him from Rule 5 from Boston. He didn't make the team. So here we are again with another pitcher in Zach McCambly. Yeah, I mean, Dombrowski all but said when we drafted him that he thinks he's going to make the team. If you looked at what he did in spring, he wasn't great, right? He had more walks than strikeouts. But overall, shocked. I'm not shocked at this point, given what he did on the field, but I am shocked that a guy like Pop made it over him for sure.
Yeah, and like you talked about earlier, the 4 lefties in the bullpen.
Right.
That's a lot.
Well, qualify this for me, Bones. And sorry for the direct questions, but if you're a Rule 5 draft guy, are you allowed to be sent back down to the minors once you make the rosters? No, you got to carry them all year.
You got to carry them
all year, or else you got to offer them back.
So you got to cross an even higher threshold sometimes. You know, that's one thing I would mention there. A couple other things we talked about when Zach Wheeler came back. We still got Kirkering coming back, who's going to bump one of these guys, for sure. You know, once he comes back. And then lastly, what about the catcher?
Yes, that was going to be the last one. So thank you for King. Yeah, so let's talk a little catcher. So Garrett Stubbs and Rafael Marchand battle. Here we are again. Do you guys think this was a situation where there was never an actual battle? That's how it feels.
Probably.
Right.
Probably. Marchand looked like he was hitting a little bit better this spring too. But yeah, I guess so. I was rallying behind Stubbs for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, I would have been shocked to see Stubbs make the roster after he didn't make it last year, just because.
Yeah, the one thing I was hanging my hat on is that last year the big story was the options, right? And hold on here, we got so Jr. I see you in the chat. By the way, we're going to do some fantasy baseball talk later this episode, very briefly, just kind of previewing. So Jr. is saying here, Devo, tell him the truth about Stubbs and his BS. So I'm not 100% sure where you're at on that. I've never been a huge Stubbs guy, but what I will say is that lately, I know Marshawn's the superior defender, right? Arm, pop time, all that stuff. I get it. I'm there. But Stubbs, better athlete. He's the better athlete. I was looking up the numbers. He's like the top 5 fastest catcher in the MLB. So at the end of the day, a guy like Marshawn, who had a lot of opportunity last year, didn't do much with it. So that's the only reason I was leaning a little bit Stubbs this year. But again, it's coming down to defense.
And again, he might be a guy who might not get picked up.
Right. That's a big factor.
He could be back in the same role that he had last year, where if we need something at the end, hopefully it's not Stubbs that we need at the end. Yeah. But he could be back in a similar position as last year.
100%. 100%. All right, boys. Anything else on the opening day roster that jumped out? Only a few days away.
Slim pickings with the outfielders, right? Slim pickings with the outfielders. That's all. We got a gazillion infielders. We got 4 outfielders.
Right.
Maybe we see a crossover with Moore, a little with Sosa, but the rest of those guys, you're not going to see no crossover.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why Moore definitely edged it, because you can put him basically anywhere. I think he played every single position in the major leagues except catcher, which is wild. I mean, he's a former shortstop. So, that's a guy who can – I mean, I know he didn't have a great day in the field today. It was just one day, right?
Yeah, and the truth is he probably won't be seeing too much at second base.
No.
Right? With Sosa and Stott.
Right. Completely agree. I'd imagine he's going to see most of his work, I would think, in the outfield, right?
Yeah, in the outfield. And, yeah, there's a lot going on with the outfield.
100%. Chat, if you have any questions at all the time, you know how it is. Jump on in the chat. JR, see you. Throw it in the chat. We just introduced our guy, Doug, here. Doug's our new producer. So I would we want to introduce you to the Red Riders. Jerry in the chat saying, isn't Kemp a third baseman as well? Yes, he is, Jerry. So Jerry, he played a little third base last year as well. He played that at Lehigh Valley. Not great, right? But he's going to be a left fielder for us this year.
Not great, but we're being told he's sneaky athletic. He's one of these guys who might not look as athletic as on TV as he is in real life. So,
yeah,
he has a hard time turning a double play. That's for sure. When we saw him a second.
Boys, we ready for some predictions?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So, Bones, let me start with you on this. So we do this every year, and then we're going to keep each other honest. Give me your season win total.
94.
Woo!
Okay.
Woo!
All right. So a 2-game decrease.
But
what's your thought process there?
That's 4.5 over the Vegas total. So,
right.
Bones thinks we're better than perception, and I agree with Bones. All right, so we're going to win over 90 games. You might recall last year I said 96, and I hit it right on the head. Mm-hmm. So now I'm thinking, is it going to be 93? And I don't think so. I think we're going to end up winning 99 games this year.
Damn.
99.
Okay.
Nice.
I got us for 99. And 9 games over our projected total. I think the market's that off.
All right. So Bones 94, Slim 99. I'm in the middle at 95. Now, Bones, I want to go back to what you said. So you're predicting a 2-game digression from last year. And like Slim said, above what Vegas is predicting. What's your thought process on why we're going to lose a couple less games? I know it's not an exact science, but anything to it at all?
Well, one, we got Taiwan Walker in the rotation to start the year.
Yep.
So that's a start. And just little things and stuff over the course of the season with injuries. We know how the bats go silent. Division's a little tougher.
Mhm.
At the maybe not over the course of it, but the Mets are going to be better. They're always tough against us. Braves are going to be the Braves, but the Marlins have a solid team. They have some solid pitching,
Right. Yeah.
and we face them teams the most. So
And then Slim, you want to
Yeah,
elaborate
so
more on your 99?
yeah, so I actually think the opposite of what Bones thinks. I think we're in the. I mean, he has us winning 93 games. You got 95. It's a lot of wins. I'm at 99, and the reason we can get to 99 is because like 2 years ago we saw that fifth starter. We don't have that issue right now.
Right.
You don't like Walker, but he's a lot better of an option than somebody random each week or somebody not at all who's getting absolutely rocked.
Yeah, he's a
And
fine fifth starter.
and we even added, we got back Griff McGarry. So if we're talking, if we were talking about making a deal, like Dombrowski was saying, some people wanted more of an established veteran, like a Wilson Bueller, Walker Bueller type for that fifth, sixth, death slot. But then Dombrowski said he was going to go get a minor leaguer, potentially like one of those fringe guys. And now we got back Griff McGarry. I thought Griff McGarry was going to be pitching against us that opening week with the Nationals. So I'm happy to see that low key, to be frank. And so I think our fifth starter depth is going to help us get 99 games. And what was your other point, Bones? I could see we didn't get the NL East did not get a second team into the playoffs last year. Does that change? I'm unsure. I do think Miami's a little bit better. I don't think the Nationals are any better. And the Mets and the Braves, we'll wait and see.
And I'm completely aligned with you on that one, Bones. I have 95. I think the digression is just as simple as we have Zach Wheeler for less starts, right? I'm baking in a game loss from that. Hopefully that gets offset by Painter. Not to mention, Slim, I'm surprised I didn't hear you say this. Your boy Ranger's not here, right? So that might be a little bit of a factor as well.
Yeah, but if you're only talking 2 starts for, I mean, how many? We'll see, because hopefully we don't get the inconsistency or that lapse from Luzardo. Hopefully he's good from beginning of the year to the end, because now that's 2 counters.
Love it. So, Doug, let's bring you on for this. So, Doug, what's your win total? What do you got?
All right, can you guys hear me good?
You loud and clear.
I'm thinking 98 is where
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand what we lost, huge Ranger loss. Feel awful about that, but I like the idea of maybe getting some nice hard wins early on with Taiwan, with Andrew Painter, and then just slotting in another ace. When he comes back, and then just really riding high into the second half of the season. I feel like that's going to be a huge bounce. We'll probably steal some wins, and the Mets got good, but they're the Mets. They're the Mets.
Love it. No, right. No, nothing else needed from that. Yeah, so thank you. We got you some bonus analysis there. Love it too. You're in the slim zone, which I love, the 98-99 zone. So let's move on here to our over-unders. Right. So let's hit some over-unders here. And this is going to be simple, boys. I'm going to state a situation. And before we get to that, let's go to the chat here a little bit. So, Doug, we have Bonzi in the chat. I wonder if you bring that up. Bonzi said he's got 91 wins. Bonzi, we love you, one of our favorite Red Riders. 91 is a great number. I'm not going to be disappointed with that.
Nobody's going under 89. Nobody's going under 90. Anybody got 88 or 89? Does anybody think this team – because if we hit 89, we're in the probably maybe the second or third wild card, maybe out.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
You shouldn't be out, but it's getting closer and closer.
Well, like we were just talking about last week, Slim, the ceiling and the floor of this team, right? That's right about the floor.
And if we're being honest, because I'm thinking the best of Painter, I'm thinking the best of the offense. But if we're being honest, the Mets should be a little bit better with their revamped infield. Okay.
Right.
The issue with the Mets, I think, is like what we saw with the Yankees 2 years ago with the fielding, the fundamentals. Is that going to be there late in the season? All right. I can, right. But I think, day to day, they're going to have a ton of talent and a ton of offense. So,
for sure. And then Jerry in the chat saying he has 87 and no playoffs. And then previously he mentioned it. Don't forget you have home run Nola still, which he might be baking that into his win total at 87 no playoffs. So that's definitely pessimistic. And Jerry, good timing to mention our poll of the week. I was going to let Bones mention this, but we had a little bit of a technical issue. 82% of our viewers thinks Noel's going to have a bounce back year. What does a bounce back year look like? We'll kind of determine that. So Slim, let me ask you this. Let's just play here. You can take this however you want, blank canvas. What would you call a bounce back year for Nola to make our 82% look correct?
So a bounce back year for Nola is 3 criteria. He's above 500. He has over 165 innings pitched.
Okay. He better have more than that. Keep going.
And his ERA is below 4, is floating around 4, a little bit below. I would be fine with that.
I like that. Yeah, what do you think, Bones?
Well, anything is better than last year for certain. But definitely
2 years was his real bad year. There was
last year was
the real bad year.
It was like 7.1 ERA.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't play the whole first half of the
year.
He
never got out of like the bottom 4 ERA. But yeah, like Chris said, as long as he eating the innings, if he can get below a 4 ERA, that'd be awesome. Coming from your third, fourth starter, that'd be great.
Right. Keep going.
He's always good for the gopher ball, but just eat the innings, and let the curveball do its thing. Do what he did it for Italy.
Right. Yeah, he was a star for Italy. Are we referencing that all year, like the Trey Turner situation? Like that was his highlight of the year? I hope to God not.
Hopefully not. But I'll increase my 165 to 180. That's about 2 more good games.
Yeah, I think 180. Because remember, this is a guy who Doug.
I went low because of injury, man. I mean, it's hard to do 180.
Yeah, but if we get 160 from him, that sucks. That sucks.
180. I'll make it 180.
Yeah. I would love to see, if we can get old school Nola of like 200. I think he gave us 200 for, what was it, like 6 straight years? Something like that. But again, I'm with you, Slim. He doesn't need to do that. For sure, but I need more than 160.
Yeah, I think 200's in play.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's in play for sure. He'll go out there. He'll take the ball. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is his body.
I came in low. I'll go 200 then. I'll do 200. I'll do 201. And I'll have an ERA of 4 and above 500 record.
All right, so let's go to our over-unders here. So I have a few, some goofy ones, some straight baseball ones. So I'm going to say the over. I'm going to say a number. You guys give me over or under. All right. Kyle Schwarber, over under 44.5 homers. Bones.
Over.
Okay. Slim.
Over.
All right, so we're thinking 45 or more homers all day, every day.
He is live for the MLB home run record these next couple years. He's live. Or he's live for 60 or whatever you want to say, 71. He's live.
Got it. And Jerry's in a pessimistic mood. He's saying under in the chat. I love it. Jerry, we love you. Jerry's a Braves fan?
Sounds like it.
The truth comes out. All right,
Sounds
so
like
Zach.
He's a Yankees fan.
That's too funny.
He's a Yankees fan. That's crazy.
Even worse. So Zach Wheeler, 24.5 games started.
24.5 games started.
I like the thought you're putting into there.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under because I do think when he comes back, he'll rest up again at some point.
Over.
Okay. Over. So, Slim, you're basically saying that you think he's going to miss around 7 starts or so, which would suck, but also not out of yeah.
Yeah, 7's a ton. Man, 24 is a tight number. I'll take the under because I do think once we get closer to the summertime, like August-ish, that every 5 days, July, if we're looking good, July into August, maybe I could see him missing some starts to ramp up for October.
Fair.
Because what's happening with his arm is it's going to be a repetitive thing. So they also, the second option is not to shut him down early but in the second half of the season we could use that 6th spot, to give him more rest. I know he hates that though. But his injury is a repetition injury which just like the cartilage in your knees, you never really know when it's going to start bugging you again. So it's good to be careful.
Right. Like my knees were bugging me this on mile 2 of that run, 5K. The clan is wild today, Bones. They are wild today.
Wild today.
Yeah. I love it. I was nice to see them earlier though today. But this one's a little bit interesting, and we have Michael in the chat saying under. So he thinks under on the Zach Wheeler stuff. And then Bonzi in the chat just kind of giving an overall comment saying team's older, Wheeler coming off an injury, and that puts it still. Oh Jesus, it's still the manager. Love it. By the way, I'm loving Doug. Doug, you're killing it right now. You're a maestro with these comments. 10 out of 10. This is phenomenal. True value add. I got to talk to my co-hosts after the show about today, but you're value add. But anyway, so let's go back to over-under. Bryce Harper, ranking 10.5 in MVP voting. So if you say over, meaning he'll be closer to 1, under, he'll be closer to 100. You get what I'm saying? So let's start with you, Slim.
10.5, over. I think he finishes in the top 11 MVP voting this year. I think we have multiple Phillies in the top 11 this year. I think we're going to have a great year.
Okay, so you're saying over, meaning you think he's going to be over. He's not going to be 10 or under.
Yeah, meaning he'll be between 1 and 10 and 11.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. And what do you think, Bones?
Outside the top 10.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that was a confusing way of presenting it, but the whole over-under aspect compared to that.
If we're going to win 99 games, the Phillies will probably end up having 3 position players and a pitcher in there. So I got to be consistent.
No, good point. Right, like the Phillies are going to win 90. If the Phillies are going to win 99 games, it's realistic to think that Bryce Harper is top 11 in MVP. Right.
Right.
Now, if you get a guy like Schwarber to give you top 2 in MVP again, maybe you don't need as much from Harper. But let's move on to some of these supporting guys that also might not make Harper need to be as elite. Justin Crawford, 134.5 hits, over or under? Over. Love it.
This is so
Over.
Damn. Okay, so we're both buying it. I love it. All right, let's keep it moving. Adalis Garcia, over 145, over or under 145.5 games played.
145?
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is how much stock you have in him being here to stay for the year. That's the spirit of this question.
Under 145.
Under.
Okay.
That's a lot. Yeah, for his age, 145 is a lot.
Now, are you saying that from his age standpoint? Because, Slim, it sounds like you're more so saying you think he might come out of the mix, right?
Yeah, well, there's a chance if he we've seen 2 things. We've seen 3 things. We've seen his extraordinary arm in right field. We've seen the good and the bad at the plate this spring training. If we get an extended period of bad, you could then see Marsh, I think maybe play Marsh or Kemp maybe play into his time and go Crawford, Kemp, and Marsh. If Kemp, they all got to perform too. Well, come July, August, or something later on in the year, the best guys are going to be playing out there.
Right. And as Mike in the chat just pointed out, there's a scenario where he's still here all year and just doesn't get that much, rub, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a scenario. That's why I figured this question would be something, hey, you guys can take it however you want.
They want him to come out and hit dingers, right? They probably could care less about his batting average. If he bats like 210, but he's giving you dingers at the bottom of the order or mid-bottom of the order, I think we live with that. But if he's giving you 210 in his power production and he's not giving us no slug, then I really could see whether it be Dylan Moore or somebody biting into his time.
Right. Next question. Ice cream.
Racoñez.
Yeah.
Racoñez is he's falling off the radar, it looks like, on me.
Listen, he's still young. But let's move on to our next over-under. So anyone who's been following the Red Corner knows the ice cream helmets were an entire, what do you want to call that? Like an episode, like a whole series last year, right? So last year the Phils had six different ice cream helmets. Now they upped it to 8. So I'm going to ask you guys this: 6.5. Are you guys going to get over or under 6.5 of those ice cream helmets bones?
So, with the rules in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got 6 games as a Red Corner, as like the home run patrol. We're obviously going to go to other games.
Mm-hmm.
When can we? I'm going over. If I'm going more than 6, I'm going to more than 6 games. I'm going over.
Well, I want to let you answer first, Slim, and then I have a retort to that.
I'm going over too, but Bones, we got to figure it out, because remember last year, I think it was like Monday. I think it's like Monday games. They do certain helmets, Tuesday certain helmets, Wednesday certain helmets, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, etc. on the helmets. So we got to figure out what helmets are on what days and get our ice cream stuff together.
So
yeah, we're going over.
You guys have a believer in the chat, Sean McDonald. Shout out to you, Sean. And again, reminder, Red Riders, it seems like our chat activity has kind of hit its peak. Do us a favor. We are sniffing 1,500 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Get us to 1,500. So here's the point. There's more than one helmet at each game. So if you're going to 6 games and you each eat a different helmet, you can get there easy.
Right.
Gotcha. So that's the game. There wasn't a lot of. This is the thing. This is the reality. It sucks eating ice cream every day. Right? Like it does. It probably sucks. So I have a little bit of empathy for you guys, but that's the reality. If you can even take a game off, that's what I would do. If I were you guys, each of you take a game off, right? And then one game you do double. I think that math.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll see how fast we can get these. I think it won't be too long.
Yeah.
It should be good.
Doug, if you want to jump in here real quick, I don't know if you followed this from last year.
We just my thing from it last year is I just got to get in, get the ice cream, and sit down.
Yeah. Doug, do you recall this argument that we had last year with the ice cream helmets?
No.
Okay, so
no. What's the deal? What's the deal we got?
So I wish we had a graph.
I kicked Chris's ass.
Yes.
Yeah, he ate 6 ice cream helmets, missed about 6 to 7 hours of game time, about 9 innings or so across 5 games. But yeah, he got more helmets than me. I always would boast it. I never made the ice cream my first purchase, and I should have.
So he's the champ, huh?
He's the champ. I got like 1 or 2 compared to his 6.
All I hear is excuses.
I think you both go over. I think it's a tie.
Well, Doug, here's the thing. This is why it's an absolute joke. It was a team effort.
Oh,
Slim just didn't do anything last year until like the last game.
That
And
wasn't
then it went
totally
over.
clear either. For now we know it's a team effort. I forgot it was a team effort. I thought it was a
No,
competition.
we
That was
had
very
a
clear.
bet. We had a bet who was going to eat more.
Yeah, it wasn't a team effort. We changed it.
Okay. We'll
Because
go
of
back to the
the
tapes
whole
on that.
banana split thing that Chris cheated me in.
So, Mike, Doug is our producer. So Doug, now that again, this is where I was saying you don't really know when the activity is going to be the highest. So Doug is our new producer. Doug, why don't you introduce yourself to all the Red Riders again here?
Yeah.
Just go into where your studio and all that jazz.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna try to definitely go over for you guys when I join the games with you. So yeah, I'm Doug, the producer. These guys awesomely brought me in. I got a studio over here in Collingswood, New Jersey. It's called Top Chalk Studio. It's kind of a co-working space for creatives. We have a photo studio, podcast studio, YouTube, and Twitch streaming studio here. I do commercial photography and video work as well with my other business. Headshots, branding, lifestyle. We got to do some cool stuff at the Sixer Stadium recently. It's a lot of fun stuff, and we're gonna do some more sports stuff this year. So excited to be a part of the team, and thanks, Michael. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so Mike's one of our we call him Memphis Mike. He's one of our OGs. So you're going to see a lot of the familiar names and faces.
Mike.
All good people.
We got it. Mike. Doug's gonna help us with doing our watch-alongs this year. I know sometime Mike, a lot of the Red Riders are hardworking people, and sometimes they watch us on not delay, but they watch us later when they get time.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to find out when we're going live, Mike, because you're gonna appreciate the live watch-alongs we have coming up. We're gonna have a wheel we spin, all types of cool stuff.
They're gonna be sweet.
yeah, we're very excited. And honestly, let's just spill the beans. So we were just at a studio location today, and Doug framed it all out. We have our live in. You guys have probably seen this online nowadays. Where there's like a full room and there's people watching games together. We're going to be doing that. And Doug's got us all souped up. We're going to be. It's going to be picture our live watch long experience, but having us in a bar. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's keep it moving here. It's going to be awesome. Let's keep it moving here. I want to talk a little bit about the 5K. Doug, if you want to bring that up real quick. So we just did the Phillies 5K over the week on Saturday. You probably saw that on our socials. Slim, and he did his best to get in. It sold out in like 25 minutes. The guy's running a classroom all day, so it was impossible for him to log in.
We're on next year, though. We know.
Yeah, you'll be in next year. So, Bones, what was your takeaway from that 5K?
Felt more than 3.1 miles. It was great for charity. It's the only reason I got in it, because other than that, I definitely should have prepared more, and I realized now I'm out of shape in 35.
Right. And so speaking
really
of 35,
puts you into perspective right there.
It puts you in perspective. And speaking of 35, I had two goals going into that race. Get under 35 minutes, and more importantly, beat Bones. Right? So I almost had a heart attack, not only when I was running, but I also almost had a heart attack when I crossed the finish line. Because one of the guys that we were doing the run with thought that Bones already finished. I'm thinking, no effing way. There's no way that he beat me. So then I'm quickly shifting my focus. So, all right, I gotta throw Slim underneath the bus for not doing the race. But thank God Bones was like 10 minutes behind me, and I was in the clear. But no, he finished though. The shout outs and amazing run.
Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
We got to do the cool down, walking around the dugout, which was amazing. All in all, a phenomenal race. And like you said, Bones, all goes with good cause.
That I heard that right field wall is a little bit higher in person than in TV.
A lot higher. So anything else, boys? Anything else? I have a couple of closing things, but I want to see anything else you have.
Just a couple things that are on my mind. We talked a little bit about the pitching depth for the season and the pitching depth going to 2030. I always like to get excited. The Gage Wood stuff looks like he's going to be somebody to watch all year down in the minors. Hopefully, by the end of this season, we see him fly up those top 100 charts. I absolutely can see this guy's a top 60 prospect by the end of this season. Okay, that's one of the things I think is going to be awesome. And we're looking at him as a starter. The second thing is we talked about the outfield, what could potentially happen there a little bit. Who on this team, and I thought we had this queued up, so correct me if I'm wrong, the Silver Sluggers. Because I see at least 2, maybe 3 Phillies who could get the Silver Slugger award.
So yeah, we can. So let's hear it. What do you got?
All right, you ready? I got Turner. I can see I got Turner for sure getting one, and then I can see maybe Harper, and then here's the real dark horse, and it's going to be phenomenal if he has a year. Alec Bohm.
Wow. Okay, so Alec Bohm, Silver Slugger. That's a claim. I love it.
If he can get 50 RBIs, a couple more home runs, or 40 RBI or 40 doubles, 45 something doubles, somehow get somewhere between 25 home runs. Maybe he has one of these weird Nick Foles games where he throws 6 touchdowns. Maybe he has a 3 home run game here and there. Juices his stats a little bit. And if we're going to be as good as I think we're going to be, we are going to have to pick up our offensive production. Our pitching is going to have to be there, and people are going to have to be rewarded because this team has been ripped off with the hardware in the award ceremonies each year.
Do you guys, since you mentioned, do you guys want to do a little impromptu, maybe Rookie of the Year and MVP predictions for the NL?
Yeah, I'm down. All
right, so Bones, who do you got for your MVP for the NL prediction?
Juan Soto.
Ooh. I'm still going to go Ohtani, but I got Schwarber coming in second again, and this being a real conversation, very similar to what happened last year. We saw the Schwarber Dark Horse MVP conversation spike for about 2.5 weeks. I think it spikes again for a longer period of time, and unfortunately, that may be an opportunity for us to get Ohtani at a good value. But I do see that conversation happening again this summer.
Okay, so
my MVP is Ohtani with Schwarber coming in second.
I like that. That's a great. So running it back there.
It's us and the Dodgers. All right, the Mets are trying to get their way back in there. They might, but it's us and the Dodgers. The Mets are the third team to me. The Brewers, third team to me. Fourth team to me.
Darkhorse.tees, yeah. So my pick is Ronald Acuna Jr. We saw who he was. He reminded us during the World Baseball Classic. Obviously, the Braves got a lot going on right now. I think he's going to be the shining star down there, absolutely. But honestly, as far as baseball players, there's Bobby Witt out there, obviously a different league, but Ronald Acuna is as good as it gets as far as pure baseball player. So
he's primed for a scenery change. The Braves aren't the Braves what they used to be. Acuna, there's something wonky there. If he ends up getting MVP year, that's terrible for us. So
sure.
I'm manifesting the opposite.
Well, between me and Bones, we have our NL East rivals winning the MVP, so it's not good regardless. At least you have Ohtani out there in the West.
Yeah. I'm not worrying about the NL East. The NL East is ours until proven otherwise.
All right, what about Rookie of the Year, Bones? Who you got?
For the NL?
The NL, yeah. Let's just stick to the NL because I have a couple other things I want to get to just for the spirit of time here.
Connor Griffin.
Okay.
Shortstop for the Pirates.
Love it.
Connor with a K. Yep, he'll be up probably in May.
All right, I'm going to go with the kid in St. Louis, J.J. Weatherholt.
Good pick. I'm going to go another Nolan McLean. He's still eligible for the Mets. And based upon last year, he's eligible. So I think he's one of those little ringer cases. We saw he got the WBC rub. I think he's going to have a monster year, and obviously he's still a rookie, so I think he's going to win it.
And Where out in the Mets rotation is he? Is he going to be starting opening day? Because he's going to have, because let's say him and Painter have similar years. We get the
Right.
best of Painter, right? The argument's going to be that Painter was doing it versus 4s and 5s, where this guy was doing it against 1s and 2s.
Yeah, no, he won't be the guy they got from the Brewers. Adam, what's his name?
Who's that?
Is it Peralta?
Freddie Peralta. Yeah.
Peralta. Yeah. They got Peralta from the Brewers. Dude, so much stuff happens in the offseason. It's really, you know what you got to do? You got to, I always do. This week, you just look at all the rosters and go, oh, yeah, remember all the movement.
Right.
So speaking of all the rosters, let's talk a little bit of our fantasy league. So are you boys excited for this?
Yes. Already talking strategy, but going back to me and Bones, that's where a lot of this sports stuff was kindled years and years ago, talking, just sharing information, picking each other brains. And I use the excuse that I never won our old school fantasy leagues because Bones would know all my information that I share with him all year long and use it against me. Today I was picking his brains on what these leagues have been looking like and the strategies with the waiver wires and stuff. And I'm telling you now, Slim's ready.
I'm in the middle of 2 drafts right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one I got. Yeah, the one I was at, and then the one I'm doing live. It's a work one. The first one's almost done now. It's like first one's like a keeper league. They added a couple more guys. Usually we keep 6 guys. They added 2 teams to the league this year, so we dropped it down to 2, and we're going to start over with the keepers next year with 6.
I told Bones this. The last time I had a draft was, I believe it was 2009. And I took Carl Crawford the first year he was with Boston. And I believe what saved my year was I picked up a rookie, Craig Kimbrell, with the Braves. So that's how long I've been out of the fantasy baseball game. But I'm pumped to get back. Yeah.
Great recall by you there, though.
Yeah. It was a bust. It was a bust of a first-round pick, man. That's why I remember.
Yeah, and shout out to JR. So, we have Doug. We have Doug messaging us on our little group chat here saying, "This double check Doug get in the league." So JR is the commissioner of this league. Red Rider JR. You see him in the chat. So he managed all of the people in the league. So we're just co-managing a team, the Red Riders. So we had nothing to do with all that. But next year, we'll maybe do a different job of getting people in. But anything else, boys? We're right at that hour mark. I know there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on right now. We got opening day on Thursday against the Rangers. We're excited as hell for that. What are we thinking? I mean, it's about to get real quick.
This Ranger series is going to be awesome. With they got DeGrom, they got a deep team. They had a lot of turnover, right? They got rid of Simeon, so they're going to be hungry. They're starting on the road across the league. A lot of interleague games. So this game one's a biggie. I can see us. That game one's going to be tricky, man. It's a tough series. It's a juicy one to start with.
Remember the last time they opened with the Rangers?
They beat the crap out of them.
The Rangers beat the crap out of the Phillies.
They did. All right.
Yeah. The Phillies had like a big lead. They blew it. It was out in Texas. I don't know. I think Kapler was right. Was Kapler a manager?
Yeah. So you can't.
Or was it Girardi?
With the Rangers.
But either way, they're not going to face DeGrom. I seen today he's not going to make a start until their home opener. No, he's going to start their home opener, which is like a week later.
And then the other question, we know they got the young kid Langford, but what about, is Seager healthy? Because if he's healthy, he's fantastic. If he's not, he's not. But when he plays, he's like a top 10 guy in baseball.
Right.
Yeah. When Seager plays, he's like what we wish Turner was sometimes, because he has legit power. But he's a whole other head case.
We don't Kapler. That always brings back horrible memories when people mention Kapler. Let's move on. But boys, anything else? Any closing thoughts? We'll close it down here. So this is our first episode with Doug in the RCU, aka the Red Corner Universe. So welcome, Doug. Doug, I think it's safe to say you're going to be here most episodes, right? So Doug will be here as much as he can, as much as we can make it work schedule-wise. Doug did a great job tonight, so kudos to you. Again, let's give a nice little round of applause for welcome, Doug. It's going to be fun having you around. And, even today, it was good to have you kind of fact check and see some stuff. But let's close it down. And Red Riders, if you are still here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We will talk to you soon. Go Phils, and opening day, baby.
Woo.
And in the red corner.
Stay here.